On the show this week, we drive Audi's first all-electric vehicle. We head to Arunachal Pradesh for the Orange Festival. And we take a look at one of the world's oldest auto shows.
Hello and welcome from the land of black gold. We are here in the Middle East, Abu Dhabi per se, not to drive some W16 or V8 or something like that. We are here to drive this. Now this very normal looking vehicle is the Audi E-Tron, which the company is hailing as the future of mobility. Now it promises a lot, and we've started our drive in a very futuristic place called Masdar City, which is completely run out of solar power. So that is also a statement that the Middle East is getting ready for electric mobility.
The Audi E-Tron looks like any other Audi SUV, and that's where the magic lies. As far as dimensions go, the E-Tron fits in right between the Q5 and the Q7. However, thanks to the technology it packs in and the fact that it will enter India as a CBU, the E-Tron will be Audi's flagship product in India.
So what makes this car different? Well, that's the fun factor. There's nothing different on the E-Tron as compared to other EVs which we have seen. It's not very flashy. It's not like a Back to the Future scene where you have sci-fi things around the car. But all those sci-fi things are plugged inside the car. Like this radiator for that matter. I mean, in an electric car, there's no radiator. But you have a grill here. Why do you have the grill? Very simple. These grills have ducts behind them. So what they do is they channel air inside, and which is regulated around the battery pack to ensure optimal cooling. Now that's something which is very unique, and that's something where a regular design has been transformed into EV. So that's a feature which I really like. Also, these channels out here, they play a very important role in aerodynamics. They channel air into the wheels, and they are all there for aerodynamics. They are all there to increase range. Another very interesting thing I want to show you are the wheels. Now these big spokes, they help channel air on the side of the vehicle, and that's what makes it more aerodynamic and adds to the range. So that's an interesting thing. Another feature which adds to the range are these. Now these fancy pod-like structures are actually rear view mirrors. They are called virtual rear view mirrors, and they are basically a camera which sends a feed into a display inside the cabin. So these, we are told, reduce drag by quite a margin and helps increase range. But unfortunately, these pods are possibly not coming to India because of obvious reasons. Indian conditions are very tough, and in case there's a breakage, I am sure they'll be pretty expensive to repair. Inside, the Audi E-Tron carries on the theme which we saw outside. So the interiors are very simple and very, very normal. So you don't have a high raised floor or something like that. It's a flat floor which offers ample space inside the cabin. Apart from that, you have the goodness of this two-tier touchscreen infotainment system which doubles up as anything you want. So the top panel houses the infotainment system, which comes with satellite navigation, Wi-Fi controls and everything. And the good thing is that the switches are haptic in nature, so they give a nice click, so you know that something has happened. The screen below that is for the climate control system, and also there are the drive select and the various modes which you can choose. This is the gear lever. Well, what does the gear lever do? Well, it gives you forward motion or rearward motion or park. So it's a very nice way of putting a couple of buttons on the car which gives you that old world charm of shifting a gear. Then there is storage space. There's plenty of storage space in the center console, and there's also fast charging. The seats on which I am sitting also offer massage function. So all the premium features are there in this particular vehicle. And there's a magic trick also. The virtual mirrors which I showed you outside beam from here. It's a nice touchscreen panel which you can adjust both ends of the mirrors. So quite normal, but yet very futuristic. That's something I like.
The E-Tron comes with a high-tech instrument panel which shows numerous things which include navigation, range, charge and even a power deployed meter. One can also change the display according to one's own preference. While what you can see is simply normal, things which you cannot are rather complex. 2 electric motors drive the electric SUV with a system output of up to 300 kilowatts and 664 Nm. The electric all-wheel drive system also powers all wheels effectively, making the E-Tron a quattro. However, there are no badges on the E-Tron. The Tron can store up to 95 kWh battery pack is also nothing short of being state-of-the-art. Customers can use fast charging stations to charge with direct current at up to 150 kilowatts. The electric SUV can also be recharged with alternating current at up to 11 kilowatts. Recharging with 22 kW is available as an option. The electric SUV can recover energy in 2 ways: by means of coasting recuperation when the driver releases the accelerator, or by means of braking recuperation when the brake pedal is depressed. In both cases, the electric motors function as a generator and convert kinetic energy of the Audi e-tron into electric energy.
This e-tron feels like any other car to drive. The electric powertrain offers a lot of power, and what I really enjoyed is putting it into dynamic mode. So the moment you put it in dynamic and you bury the throttle, it's really weird. I mean, you're pushed back into the seat and the power delivery is like instant, and the car takes off around these corners which you see behind me. I was doing about quite a high speed, and I didn't realize until I looked into the speedometer, and I was like, oh really, it corners flat, and the suspension does a damn good job of ironing out these corners. So you feel confident, you feel a lot confident, but you do not realize what kind of speeds you are doing, primarily because there's no noise. It's incredible. I mean, if you thought electric vehicles were 50 years away, well, let me tell you, no, they are round the corner and they are coming fast.
Now, considering the e-tron sprints to 100 km per hour in just 5.7 seconds, one might consider it to be good for on-road use only. However, in spite of not having the Quattro badge anywhere, the e-tron is an all-wheel drive SUV. This means that off the road, the e-tron is potent enough. We did get a shot of going off the road, and the SUV felt ever so planted. We did switch off traction control, and this made the experience all the more fun. The desert rails were dealt with ease, and this means the e-tron is worthy of the Quattro badge. Overall, the e-tron proved to be worthy of being used every day. Thanks to the brilliant tech it packs in, the e-tron owner can rest assured that there's minimum range anxiety to worry about. It also gets fast charging, which is the right way to go. All in all, the e-tron will be a tremendous boost to raise confidence in electric mobility.
JK Tyre's Orange 4x4 Fury is held annually in the quaint town of Dambuk in Arunachal Pradesh, which livens up to the roar of modified 4x4 off-roaders that jostle for top honours in the off-road competition.
For most part of the year, the quaint little town of Dambuk in the lower Dibang Valley in Arunachal Pradesh remains silent. As the 10th least populous district goes about with their business. But as the winter closes in, the area gets busy to welcome the season of oranges and also preps up for the incoming off-roaders from across the country.
More than 15 teams take part in the JK Tyre Orange 4x4 Fury, which makes it the biggest off-roading competition in the country. But that's not all. The stages set through the 4 days are also on the toughest of the terrains in the country. So let's not waste any more time and let's get straight to the action.
The Orange 4x4 Fury takes place in the dense rainforest and on the Brahmaputra riverbeds of Arunachal Pradesh, where challenges present the competitors in the natural form as man and machine are pitted against the nature. Defending champions, Girari off-roaders are back with 4 teams led by defending champion Kabir Warij and Gurmeet Singh, while the northeastern region was represented by AON Nagaland and Team Mocha. Bamboo Rush, which is a visual delight, had the cars climb a tricky 60-degree incline and then take a sharp and very narrow left before gliding down. Completing the task in less than 3 minutes. And a total 100 points in the kitty is the Team B of Girari off-roaders, followed by Team Mocha, which secured 95 points. The next stage is Baton on the Slush, which turned out to be a major obstacle for most teams. Only Boda Team C, Girari off-roaders Team A and Team Mocha completed this stage, which had the teams pass a baton to the partner vehicle. After going through a deep slush of mud, the supporting car had to winch the lead car out of the slush and pass the baton, following which the support car will repeat the course. However, this task had to be completed within 8 minutes, which was the most difficult part. Bijari by the Swamp turned out to be yet another difficult stage as well, as both Giraris and Mocha grabbed points there. The stage required the first car to tackle the watercourse before the second one waded through deep slush to win this round. The 5th round, Play Your Own Game, has 2 cars in each team starting from the same point at the same time. They, however, veered into different directions, the one of them taking the shorter course and the second one the longer and tougher route. Whoever finished early could return to help the other cars.
Overall, when they come, everybody has their strategies. But when they actually start performing and every stage they tackle, that's when things really get, you really have to use your brains.
The next round, however, turned the other way around as Team Mocha claimed the first place in the riverbed climb stage as they raced through the riverbed, the water rising high as their bonnets to win the course smartly. The tables actually turned in this round as Team Mocha collected 100 points to go into the lead. Team Mocha went all out in the Camp the River stage to collect 100 points, while Girari off-roaders finished 3rd for 90 points but suffered a big blow when they were penalized 30 points for breaking a bunting. This gave Team Mocha a considerable lead over its rivals and then into the final stage with enough points to claim the title.
3, 2, 1, go!
The final stage called Dambuk River Stage belonged to Team Gerari as Team B collected 100 points, but the battle had already been lost. Good. They, however, had the consolation of winning the first runners-up trophy and rupees 1.5 lakh as prize money. Team Oka won their maiden trophy in Dambuk and took home the cash prize of 2.5 lakh, while Bangalore Off-Road Drivers Association Boda could manage third place.
A little surprised and extremely happy to have won Orange 4x4 Fury.
Dambuk has turned out to be one of the toughest off-roading events in India. In fact, the finish list says it all. From 15 teams, we are down to 5 teams only who have finished.
The LA Auto Show is one of the world's oldest motor shows, and its 2018 edition had some exciting and interesting new world debuts. Here is a look at some of the standout cars on display.
Los Angeles, also known as the City of Angels. This sunny California city witnessed the annual extravaganza of exotic motoring that the LA Auto Show is. Spread over nearly 1 million square feet at the Los Angeles Convention Center, the show has been hosted for more than a century now. Debuting way back in 1907 in the early days of motoring. 2018 marks the 111th year of the show, and in this future era of electric mobility, the LA Auto Show had a plethora of world debuts. Here's a look into the standout offerings from this year's LA Auto Show. Five decades and 7 generations later, the latest iteration of the iconic 911 is bigger, faster and more emotional, as claimed by Porsche. In its 8th generation, the new 911 uses the Porsche Active Suspension Management chassis that has a wider track, and as a result, for the first time, the front and rear wheel diameters are different. The sophisticated electronic suspension system continuously adjusts damping on each wheel based upon the driving and road conditions. The new 911 is powered by a turbocharged flat-6 engine developing 450 bhp, which is up by 30 bhp from its predecessor. The engine is mated to an 8-speed dual-clutch transmission. Byton is a brand owned by the Future Mobility Corporation Group based out of Hong Kong. The M-Byte is the company's first concept car that has been presented in the form of a mid-sized crossover. With an appealing design and a body form that's in theme with the current demands, the M-Byte is instantly likable and surely attractive as a design. The third E-Tron concept makes its public debut at LA as a GT concept and is in a 4-door coupe form. The GT concept reminisces the sporty silhouette of the RS sports coupes and is effortlessly beautiful in its design. The aggressive front end houses the hexagonal grille with multiple aero slats and the matrix LED headlights, sketching an arrowhead design. To give you an idea of the car's shape, this new E-Tron will measure nearly 5 meters in length, nearly 2 meters in width and 1.38 meters in height. Its all-electric powertrain will develop 434 kilowatt or 590 bhp with separate electric motors fitted on the front and rear axles, also making it wear the famed Quattro tag. 0 to 100 kmph is supposed to be shut down in 3.5 seconds. 200 kmph in 12 seconds is claimed to have a top speed limited to 240 kmph and travel 400 kilometers in a single charge. The Audi E-Tron GT concept is slated to go into production by 2020. Among the host of world debuts at the LA Auto Show, a new American manufacturer came to the show with 2 electric adventure vehicles. Rivian focuses on off-road and adventure touring, with claimed range of their all-electric powertrain being in excess of 650 kilometers. The R1T is a truck version based on the same platform for the 7-seater SUV called the R1S. With the same power outputs for both vehicles, the truck can not only clock a 0 to 97 kmph time of 3 seconds, but has a payload capacity of 800 kilograms and combined trunk volume of 680 liters. The R1S is a full-size 7-seater SUV that boasts of 750 bhp and a whopping 14,000 Nm of torque. The SUV has 34 degrees of approach angle and 30 degrees of departure angle to tackle off-road terrain.
Next week on the show, AutoToday drives across the breadth of the world's second largest country. So don't forget to tune in to AutoToday on India Today.